They should consider trading James Harden. Why not move on?
Move on?
No?
Yeah. I don't have much to say on this one. That's not smart. I got a lot of other choice words, but what? James Harden is like top 5 right now, arguably the best. If it depends on how you want to look at it. Yeah, the NBA, not the conference, not his league, his division. Here's the thing about it. We have to make sure that we understand what the landscape turns into in terms of KD staying, KD leaving, what the Warriors will look like, what other teams will look like after the free agency. James Harden should always be a mainstay for this team going forward. Chris Paul, whole different conversation. Bye-bye, Chris Paul, if you can. That said, contention is going to change after this summer, what it looks like. This team was in second place, basically, in their eyes, in their conference, getting stopped short by the Warriors 2 years in a row. Don't make drastic changes, and to me, that's too drastic.
Yeah, from a business standpoint, he may not be the face of the league, but he's one of the faces of the league. The beard, from a selling point in Houston, you can't put a price on that. That's why Adidas did put a price on it, with a lot of zeros on it. The issue is not with James Harden and how he plays. It's how the Rockets play around him and utilize him. I mean, are we really talking about trading a guy who still has the chance of being the MVP in the league and was arguably, or at least in some circles, was considered the most unstoppable offensive force in the league? I can't get a quality, I can't get assets back that are equal to that once that's been proved. I need to figure out how I can maximize that, how he can maximize his ability. To me...
Or find a general manager who thinks like you who'll make a dumb trade with him.
Okay, fair. Well, but...
There it is.
But again, it's always... Any trade that I've seen in the league where I'm going quality for quantity, I'm going for multiple pieces, I'm not going to trade James Harden for an equal talent. In the game of basketball, I need the superior talent, and I need it concentrated in one player.
Go ahead, Jim. I have a thought.
You want to get it?
Yeah, I have a thought.
Go ahead.
And it'll help frame up your... I think what Houston is saying is, hey, man, this is a league where if you really want to win, your superstar has to play both ends of the court.
No, I think it's this. It's two things. One, it's hard to come off the Chris Paul contract, especially at his age and what's going on. So it's going to be difficult to move that. Those two did have contentious times during the course of the year, but like big brothers and younger brothers, they fight and they get back together. Second, you may be able to get rid of maybe an Eric Gordon's contract, a Clint Capella, who may be available to get in another piece. But I'm going to say this, and I said this before. The issue with the Rockets is how they play. It's the philosophy, the mindset. And that comes from who's in the
coach
pilot seat. It's a coach. If you really want to compete and beat Golden State, you're going to have to change the way you do some things, how you play. Now, you can utilize James Harden in a lot of different ways, but it has to be utilized the correct way, the efficient way. Now you got shooters around. You got ways that you can win. Until you change that philosophy from the bench, then it's going to be the same old Rockets.
You make an outstanding point, Jim. I mean, outstanding. And it makes no sense that they wouldn't make a move on Antoni. If James Harden's on the table, why wouldn't Antoni be fired? That seems like a better option. And to me, Mark Jackson would be a great fit in Houston, a guy that maybe could reach James Harden and get him to give some kind of effort on the defensive end. But again, what I think Daryl Morey is saying, again, Jim disagrees with me. I want to hear you guys' thought. I think they're saying your superstars got to play both ends, and this guy.
Well, it is a lame duck year for Antoni, pretty much. The contract talks, they say, have stalled. He's expecting to go into a last year of a contract, and if he doesn't win it all or get past Golden State at least, then it's over for him. So he'll outlast. Like, they both kind of are under the gun if you want to believe in some Harden trade talk.
I don't have any reason to believe that Harden won't play at both ends or play more.
We've got plenty of evidence. Have you not been watching him?
He hasn't. Has it been demanded of him? Or has it been, we ask so much of you at the offensive end, you get a pass at the other end? Steph Curry is not a great defensive player. He's not. Teams attack him all the time.
Yes.
But he gives that effort. He gives you what he can, and that is enough. So I don't know that your best player, there's one thing about I have to play at both ends. I have to be good at both ends.
No,
there's a distinction between those two.
But it's a distinction between guys who love and take on the challenge of being a better defensive player. Kobe was like that. Michael was like that. LeBron is like that. Kawhi is like that. James Harden has never been like that. He's never taking on the challenge to say, not only am I going to beat you offensively,
Right.
but I'm going to frustrate you defensively. So we're trying to compare him to the other guys who took on that challenge without the coach, without management saying this is what you have to do. But I do think you have to hold him accountable that he's not the big liability that breaks down your defense.
Fair enough. But